Hi everyone, welcome to this channel. This is Mehdi, and in this video we are going to talk about the gating system and components used for making a mold cavity. So first, let's break down the components used in mold making process in a simple and friendly way. Flask. It is like a frame made of metal or wood that holds the mold. It doesn't have a fixed top or bottom. Depending on where it is positioned, we call it different names. The lower one is the drag. The upper one is the cope. And if there is a middle piece, that is called the cheek. Number two, pattern. Think of this as a replica or a model of the final object we want to make. It helps create the mold cavity. Number three, parting line. This is the line that separates the two molding flasks. It is where they come together to make the mold. Number four, molding sand. It is a special type of sand that sticks together well but still lets air and gases pass through. It is usually a mix of silica sand, clay, and some moisture. Number five, facing sand. This is a small amount of carbon-rich material sprinkled on the inside surface of the mold. It helps give the castings a nice finish. Number six, core. This is an additional piece made of sand that's usually baked. It is used to create opening and various shapes inside the castings. Number seven, pouring basin. This is a small funnel-shaped cavity at the top of the mold where we pour in the molten metal. Number eight, sprue. This is the channel that carries the molten metal from the pouring basin into the mold cavity. It helps control how the metal flows in. Number nine, runner. This channel directs the molten metal from the sprue to the gate. Number 10, gate. So, this is the entrance point of the molten metal into the mold cavity. Number 11, chaplets. These are little supports used to hold the cores in place within the mold. So they help support the weight of the core and balance out the forces acting on it. Number 12, a riser. Riser is a column of molten metal placed in the mold to feed the casting as it cools and shrinks. It is also known as a feed head. And finally, number 13, vent. These are small openings in the mold that allow air or gases to escape during the pouring process. All right, let's move on how making a mold cavity. Well, first off, we start by selecting a molding box of the right size to create the appropriate wall thickness for a two-piece pattern. It is really important that the molding box can accommodate the mold cavity, riser, and the gating system, which includes the sprue, runner, and gates. Next, we place the drag portion of the pattern with the parting surface facing down on the bottom board. After that, we sprinkle facing sand carefully all around the pattern. This helps ensure that the pattern will not stick to the molding sand when we pull it out later. Now, it is time to fill the drag with loose prepared molding sand. We need to ram the molding sand evenly around the pattern. So we fill the molding sand again and ram it down. This process should be repeated about 3 or 4 times to make sure it is packed well. Finally, we remove any excess sand using a strike-off bar to level the molding sand with the height of the molding flask. This completes the drag. Alright, let's continue with the process of creating a mold cavity. First, we roll the drag over and sprinkle parting sand on top of it, as you see here. This helps separate the cup from the drag later. Next, we place the cup pattern on the drag pattern and make sure everything is aligned using the pins. Once that is done, we set the cup on top of the ram drag and sprinkle parting sand all around the cup pattern. Now we need to insert the sprue and riser pins vertically at suitable locations. This helps us form cavities of the right size for pouring the molten metal, as you see in this image. If necessary, we can set gaggers in the cup at approximate spots. Just remember not to place them too close to the pattern or mold cavity, or they might chill the casting. Once we have everything in place, we fill the cup with molding sand and ram is uniformly. Next, we strike out any excess sand from the top of the cup. After that, we remove the sprue and riser pins and create vent holes in the cup using a vent wire. These vents, are very important. They allow gases generated during pouring and solidification to escape. Once that is done, we sprinkle parting sand over the top of the cup surface and roll it back onto the bottom board. We then carefully wrap and remove both the cup and drag patterns. If needed, we make any repairs to the mold and apply dressing to smooth it out. Finally, we cut the gate connecting the lower base of the sprue basin with the runner and the mold cavity. If we are working with a dry sand mold, we apply a mold coating with a swab and bake the mold. If necessary, we can also set cores in the mold. Finally, we close the mold by inverting the cup over the drag. Clamp them together, and just like that, the mold is ready for pouring, as you see in this photo. Okay, this was a quick overview of gating system in metal casting. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to mention in the comments below. Thank you for your watching. If you find this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more videos. I'm looking forward to sharing more video in near future. So see you next time.